everyone, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. So not too long ago I posted a story on my Instagram asking you what kind of pre-PA questions you have for me. To help maximize the answers, Paul, the PA student, and I decided to collaborate on these. So not only will I answer your questions, but Paul will as well. So my video will be a combination of my answers and Paul's answers, and then my video will have a couple questions that only I answer, and his video will have a couple questions only he answers. We have a lot of questions, so this will be a series, so this is part 1, so keep your eyes out for the future videos. So when you're done watching my video, make sure you go over to Paul's channel and check his out too. But alright, let's get started. So the first question was, how did you control pre-application anxiety? So honestly for me, a lot of anxiety that came with the application was kind of knowing that there was so much to do and I was afraid of missing something. So what really helped with that was to create a spreadsheet and like a little checklist to make sure that I wrote down all the things that I needed to get done before I hit submit. And then as I started to check them off, my anxiety kind of started to, wane a little bit. It also helped when I realized that at that point when I was applying, there really wasn't much else I can do. So what I had on my application was what I had on my application. So now your whole focus should really be on things that you can actually control at this point. So this includes making sure your CASPA application doesn't have any spelling errors or grammar errors, making sure your personal statement is strong, making sure that you have letter of recommendation writers that will write a good letter for you. Not just write you a letter, but a solid letter. So I would just say don't focus on what you can't control and the future in terms of interviews and stuff. Just focus on what you can control right now, and that's making sure that your application is strong and, error-free. But honestly, just breathe. Once you're done with CASPA and you hit submit, just take a moment to breathe.
For me, it was actually really tough. And the reason was, I had gotten accepted into medical school. That was my original plan throughout undergrad, is that I'm going to become a doctor. But moving on, I applied. I got to learn more about the PA profession, and that's when I had a change of heart and decided to go ahead and apply to PA school instead. So I canceled my acceptance to med school, and I waited another year. I applied to PA school, so pressure was on. My family was kind of frustrated with the fact that I rejected my medical school acceptance. I had to explain to them what PAs are, what PAs do, why I'm going the PA route. And like I said, the pressure was on, and I needed to make sure that I get accepted first cycle. So here's what I did. What I did was I tried to do my best when it came to putting in the work into the application. I made sure the application is reviewed by multiple people. I made sure I am reading about every single program and every specific detail that I need to know. I didn't want to put applications out there that did not meet the qualifications. So that was really important, because a lot of people will throw out applications without making sure they have met all the minimum requirements for that program. It's important to put in the work, but also after you have put in the work, after you have, put in your research and did all that, it is important to just let it go. What I did to let it go was I was exercising at least twice a day. So I think you can, release that anxiety by working out or by getting into a hobby or getting into something. And after you do your application and put your 100% into it, just let go do that hobby, go do whatever you want to do in order to help you with not getting burnt out and stressed out.
Alright, so the next question is how I prepared myself to start PA school. I haven't started yet. I will start in August, but I am kind of preparing now. So I had planned on doing some traveling because everybody suggests that, but COVID's kind of switching that around, so I'll probably have to save traveling until after I graduate. For now, I'm just kind of basically brushing up on my anatomy with a coloring book I have, and then also luckily my medical scribe job helped me keep up with some medical terminology. Other than that, I'm just kind of doing the logistics. I'm applying for scholarships, I'm looking for housing, and kind of figuring out ways how I'm going to pay for PA school. So a lot of my prep right now isn't necessarily academics, because I know that will just come at me hard and I don't want to burn out early. But a lot of it right now is more logistics of how I'm going to finance PA school and where I'm going to live and all of those logistics. I have been trying to read a little bit to kind of get used to reading again. I'm not a huge fan of reading, and I know I will be doing a lot of it in school, so I need to get used to being in that mindset again, because it has been a while since I've been in school. But it's just light things, nothing too serious, because like I said, PA school, what I've been told is, you hit the ground running, so I don't want to overload myself now and then be tired by the time I start school, but I do want to get into a routine and get comfortable with studying again before I start. I also got an iPad to take notes on, so I'm trying to get used to that before I start school, so I'm not trying to figure that all out while I'm in class. But honestly, other than that, I've really been enjoying my break, especially with COVID. I've lost my job, which is sad, but I am actually enjoying this time to be with my family and to just have a moment to breathe without like the guilt in the back of my head to make me want to do something. So having this like guilt-free kind of break has been nice, I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping it'll give me the rest I need to like accumulate energy so I can start PA school strong and like continue strong.
That's a really important question. For me, it was pretty interesting because I decided to just meet up with friends, be more social, go out with my girlfriend as much as possible. We decided to go take a trip to Cancun just to get, refreshed and to kind of change scenery before I start school, which was really great. My advice though, if I were to go back, I maybe would have picked up a few books specifically for me. It was anatomy and microbiology. They were like 3-4 years old for me, and I needed to kind of get a little bit of a brush up. My first microbiology lecture, I was just like, what is going on? And I was lost. So I would recommend picking a book, an hour a day, something. Don't stress yourself out, don't burn yourself out, but also get familiar because it's going to help when you start school. What I'm doing is I'm posting a question a day on my Instagram page. I'm going to link the Instagram page in the description. And these are free questions. I'm doing it to help you, but also to help myself study because it's motivating me to put in the work and to get up every morning and put something out there to help others.
So this is a question I get a lot, and it's recommendations on how to find PAs to shadow when you don't really have connections. Honestly, a lot of people who try to find PAs to shadow don't have connections. You have to make your own connections. So it's really common that you have to do a lot of work to even get one PA to say yes to shadow. COVID has kind of changed the game on this. Obviously, like not even my family practice is open for me to work, let alone have shadows. So it might be a while until the shadowing game kind of gets back on it. However, I would usually say contact pre-PA organizations in the area. A lot of universities have pre-PA organizations, so even if you don't go to that university, I would still try to reach out. You just really never know. Also, your state has a PA organization. I've emailed them previously when I was president of the club, the pre-PA club at SDSU, and asked them for contacts for people to come out and speak. And they had actually a good amount of people on a list that were willing to help with speaking engagements or shadowing. So I definitely reach out to those two things first. So next I would email or cold call offices, which just means just like find, family medicine clinics, emergency departments, places that have PAs, and email them or give them a phone call and introduce yourself, say why you want to shadow. Always include background information about yourself and then ask them if they're accepting shadows. Another thing to include in your emails or when you're asking somebody to shadow is that you know and understand HIPAA. And if you don't know and understand HIPAA, figure out what that is before you shadow, because that's extremely important and that's oftentimes why you're not allowed to shadow. So no, you don't need prior connections, but it does take a lot of effort and you will get a lot of no's before you hear one yes. But if you just are consistent, keep finding PAs, look them up on LinkedIn, Craigslist, local clinics, and just keep emailing and calling and showing up with your resume even. Ultimately, you'll probably get at least one yes. So even if you hear like 20 no's, but you get one yes, at least that's one provider, and that can start a good relationship with a provider, and they potentially may have contacts too. But alright, so that was part 1 to our pre-PA Q&A collaboration. Like I said, this is just part 1 of the series. There are much more questions to come, so please look for our next videos coming up. If you haven't already checked Paul's page out, go do that now and go check out his version of this video. If you want to get the full effect and get all of your pre-PA questions answered, be sure to check out both of them. If you're liking my videos and you're finding them helpful, please remember to like and subscribe. To all of my friends who are applying this cycle, good luck. The CASPA is opening so soon. You got this. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.